Frankie Sparks and the Class Pet. We are now on Chapter 6. The unfairness of it all. Frankie's father had his head deep in a leafy bush, which made it hard for Frankie to have a serious conversation with him. All she could see were his back and shoulders, and the bottoms of his work boots, which were caked in mud. "Can't you please come out of there?" she asked him. Frankie's dad just grunted. It sounded like maybe he had grunted, "I'm a spinach," or "No, you didn't." "Dad?" she asked. He pulled his head out of the bush. "Just 1 minute," he told her. "I need to get all these shoots at the base tugged together so this beauty grows up instead of out." With that he disappeared into the bush again. Her father ran a nursery, the kind for plants, not kids. On the days when her mom had to go into the office in the city for a meeting or a presentation, Frankie rode the bus to Sparks' nursery after school and helped her father. She liked some of the jobs, like watering plants or picking the old dead buds off the rhododendrons, but other parts were less fun, like how her dad never had any good snacks. Only beef jerky, which Frankie thought tasted like a tongue of an old man's shoe. Finally, her father emerged from the plant. "I thought you were excited about getting a class pet." "I am," Frankie sighed, "which is why I did all that homework, and Miss Cupid didn't even care. And Maya wants a fish." "Oh, I like fish." "What kind of fish does she want? Did you know that there are fish that work at aquaponics? You grow a little plant on top of the fish tank. It provides some food for the fish and helps keep the tank clean. Win-win." "Dad," Frankie interrupted, "I don't want a fish. I want a rat." That does seem to be a problem." He put his hands on his knees. "Well, it wouldn't be a problem if Miss Cupid would just act the way a teacher's supposed to act. I read through all the book that Aunt Gina gave me, and I looked up the hard words and everything, and Miss Cupid didn't even look at my notes. And she definitely didn't let me make my argument to the class. I have a very good argument." "I'm sure you do. I bet that's very upsetting." He scratched his beard. "No one else really cares, not enough to even find out the most basic details about the animals. Maya doesn't even know what kind of fish she wants." Her father held up his hands, which were brown with dirt. "Wait, are we mad at Miss Cupid or at Maya?" "I'm mad about the unfairness of it all," Frankie declared, throwing up her own hands. "I see." He had deep brown eyes that Frankie thought looked like chocolate pudding, and when he looked right at her, it usually made her feel better. This time even chocolate pudding eyes didn't seem to help. "When I'm getting frustrated, I dig into my work." Frankie tried not to smile at his pun. She was feeling good and hungry, and sometimes when she was feeling good and angry, she didn't want to let that feeling go. "You've been thinking about this problem for a while now, Frankie," her dad said. "Maybe you should think about something else." "Like what?" she demanded. Frankie's dad frowned, and Frankie knew that there was going to be a talking to. "It seems like you're in a mood. Go for a walk," he suggested. "Go for a run. Go move the terracotta pots around. Get it all out of you, and then maybe we can talk." Frankie knew in a deep, deep part of her that her dad was probably right. She was mad, and she should go do something else. Instead, she stood up from the bucket she'd been perched on and walked off in a huff. There was a certain satisfaction in walking off in a huff, and she was pretty good at it. She gave a loud sigh and stomped her feet so that they made thud, thud, thud sounds as she marched away. But then she was all alone. She was still angry, but she had no one to be angry with or angry at. She marched back and forth down the aisles of the nursery, staring at her feet and her scuffed sneakers instead of at the plants or where she was going, which was how she almost marched right into Ravi and his mother. Let me see a picture of her being angry. Ravi's mother wore one of her beautiful saris, which was made of silk and woven through with gold thread. Frankie jammed her hands into her pockets to keep from touching it. "Hi, Frankie," Ravi greeted her. He smiled, but Frankie was in such a sour mood that the smile seemed like he was making fun of her. "Hey," she replied. "Hello, Frankie," Mrs. Reddy said. "You look like you are stewing over something. Is everything all right?" Frankie kicked the dirt, which only scuffed her shoes even more. "I'm fine," she answered. "She's mad because she wants a rat for the class pet, and Maya wants a fish, and Miss Cupid isn't even ready to start deciding," Ravi declared. "How did you know all that?" Frankie asked him. "I pay attention," he told her. He looked back at his mom. She's also mad because she and Maya are having a fight because Frankie's trying to convince Maya to vote for a rat, and Maya wants a fish. Frankie scowled. "Anyway, I want a bearded dragon." "I thought you wanted a mouse," Frankie said. "I did," he replied, "but you're right. It probably can't ride a motorcycle. And anyway, then I read about bearded dragons, and they seem pretty amazing. But they're too big. So then I was thinking about leopard geckos. They shed their skin and eat it." Whoa! Frankie didn't mean to be impressed, but she was. "So geckos are my first choice, but I think a rat could be cool too. I did all this reading about rats last night and how to take care of them and what they eat and what we would need if we had a rat. I wrote it all down in my neatest handwriting. I even had my main idea and 3 supporting points of evidence, just like we learned. But Miss Cupid wouldn't even listen to me for 1 second, not a millisecond." "I think she listened for at least 10 seconds," Ravi said, "maybe even 30. Frankie scowled. "That must be pretty disappointing," Mrs. Reddy told her. "Would you like to present your argument to me?" "Right now? Sure, why not? It will give you practice for when Miss Cupid is ready for you to make your case." This made a lot of sense to Frankie. Frankie took a deep breath and then began her speech. "Do you know how smart rats are? They can learn to follow mazes, they can press a button to get a treat, and they can even learn to sit and shake hands like a dog. They like to play and are active. They keep themselves clean just like a cat, and if we get more than one rat, they will clean each other. So we won't have to worry about giving them baths. We would have to clean the cage, but that's pretty easy. You just empty out the old bedding, wipe down the cage, and then put new bedding in. It could be someone's classroom job. Rats are very social and friendly and make a cute noise when they are happy." When she finished, Ravi nodded. "Okay, I think you have convinced me to be on Team Rat." "Really?" she asked. "Sure, but there's one big problem, Frankie. It has to be fed every day. Miss Cupid won't even consider it. You know the guidelines. I guess it's back to the gecko for me. Do you think we could get a piranha? She never said no carnivores." "I'm pretty sure the carnivore piranhas aren't allowed in school." "You're probably right. Maybe I'll just go along with Luke and the hermit crab. Unless, of course, you know of some rodent that can feed itself." Ravi laughed at his joke, and his mom tissed him. Frankie, though, leaped toward him, clapping her hands. "Ravi," she cried, "you are a genius." Ravi hadn't realized it, but he had given Frankie the best idea ever. Now she knew exactly what she had to do.